Hello everyone, this is part 21 of What If Naruto was banished and becomes Master Swordsman, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Outside of the stadium, Naruto held the sword that Raiho had given him when he was done with his training 3 years ago. Naruto's katana with its black and orange hilt and stainless steel blade rested in his right hand as he looked toward where Tsunade and Aizu might be. He spoke to Gamabunta. Bunta helped the shinobi that are attacking the summons trying to enter the village. "Okay kid," was the only reply that the Toad boss gave. From his position high up he scanned the village. "Okay, where are you, Yumi?" Naruto pulled out a kunai and grabbed Rin's hand. He looked at her to see if she was ready, and she assured him she was with a slight head nod. Seeing she was now ready, he threw the kunai. In the stadium, Temari was holding her fan ready to attack. Shikamaru was in a fighting position along with Anko. Even though they were surrounded, they had every intention of fighting to the end. Shikamaru smiled when a kunai entered his peripheral vision and planted itself between him, Anko, Temari, and the shinobi that surrounded them. Daki turned to the kunai with a confused look. "What the hell is that weird-looking kunai?" Anko on the other hand was reeling in shock. The last time she saw that kunai it was Yondaime using it. It couldn't be possible. Naruto, standing on Gamabunta smiled. In an instant, a yellow flash appeared from atop of Gamabunta's head. Naruto and Rin were now standing with their back turned a few feet behind Daki. Turning his head slightly, he waited. Blood erupted from various cloud, rock, and rain nins causing them to fall dead to the ground. A few shinobi from each village were left alive. Naruto did this on purpose so they could witness what was probably the most feared ninjutsu in the ninja world, the Hiraishin. The older shinobi from the rock village started to slowly back away. One went as far as to say, "The yellow flash has returned." Naruto responded, more like the golden fox, with his technique. Rin spoke, "Naruto, I'm going to help in the stands, are you going to be okay?" "Sure, I will be fine." Using the kunai planted in the ground as a medium, Naruto teleported next to Shikamaru and the others. "Hey Shikamaru, looked like you could use help. We would have taken care of it," Shikamaru informed the blonde shinobi. Naruto turned to Temari. "Temari, do you know where Yumi and Hayami are?" "No Naruto, I haven't seen them," Temari informed him. Naruto almost forgot that he could sense the kunai that they had. He sensed a few in the direction of the Kazama Namika's house and a two more near the tower. "Found you." Not wasting any time, Naruto teleported leaving behind a flash of yellow. Kakashi, who was watching from the stadium smiled, "So it seems that he finally learned it." "So it would seem," a voice from behind him said. That voice, Kakashi turned around slowly to see a person he hadn't seen in a long time. "Hello, Kakashi," Rin said, but Kakashi was speechless. The two just stared at each other. Near the tower, Kumoko was laughing. She would end it all here. No escape, no hope, nothing. They would die. Makinu was kicking himself. "I can't do anything, and I'm at my limit. Sorry Konohamaru Ni-san, I tried." Yumi held onto the kunai tightly. They would need a miracle. Hayami on the other hand was touching her chain. "Ni-san." A bolt of lightning struck Kumoko from the back. Her body acted as a rod and her outstretched arms as the director of the lightning that shot towards them at full speed. Everyone braced themselves. The lightning had struck the area where the Konoha nins were standing, creating a smoke cloud. Kumoko was more than pleased. But her happiness faded when she saw a black sandal. She couldn't make out who it was, but whoever it was, he or she would pay for interrupting. The smoke that was created from the debris was still present but slowly fading. Makinu and everyone else covered their face to shield themselves from the blast. He was expecting to be dead and he was wondering why he wasn't. Moving the arm that shielded his eyes down slightly, he saw a man in black and orange standing between them and the cloud kunoiki. Hayami, who also had her hand over her eyes, moved him to see blonde hair and the heaven's blade on this mysterious person. Then it clicked and a wide smile formed on her face. "Naruto Ni-san." Kumoko heard the girl say the name. When the smoke cleared, she had visual confirmation that Uzumaki Naruto was standing before her. With his back to them, Naruto spoke, "Sorry I'm late." Makinu looked at the man. "So you're Naruto. I heard you're good. Well, seeing as we're surrounded, any plans?" Naruto's next set of words were directed at Yumi. "Give me your kunai, Yumi." She threw it to Naruto's left-hand side. He caught the kunai, then responded to Makinu, "You protected them, thanks kid. Just fall back and leave it to me." Naruto said this without taking his eyes off of Kumoko. His next comment was for her, "I never did pay you back for hurting Yami-chan, did I? I will deal with you at my leisure." "What are you talking about, Uzumaki? I'm going to kill you here. Can't you see that every shinobi here hates you? The rock shinobi and the rain shinobi here are under my command. Whatever you did in Earth Country and Rain Country won't happen here. I'm fighting, and with me 25 ninjas are more than." Naruto threw the kunai at her face. She avoided it from piercing through the center of her face, but it skinned her cheek, causing a thin cut. She didn't even see it coming. More surprising though, yellow flashes appeared all around the area as it flew toward her. She heard his voice behind her, "Sorry, were you saying something?" 20 members of the opposition fell to the ground dead from slashes, caused by the sword in his right hand. Now there were 1 Cloud Nin, 1 Mist Nin, 2 Rock Nins, 1 Rain, and Kumoko. One of the elder rock shinobi backed away when he put 2 and 2 together. It was said that the Yondaime of the Leaf Village used a special jutsu that allowed him travel at instantaneous speeds. It was the reason the Leaf won the war against Rock so many years ago. As a young kid he was part of the retrieval squad for the bodies that decorated that field 20 years or so ago. Only a handful survived, and the ones that did gave a description of the technique Naruto was using. I don't want to die. We can't win, we can't win. The elder rock nin yelled out. Naruto turned around. "I take it you know about the jutsu I'm using." Kumoko, slightly oblivious, turned to the elder rock nin. "What's so special about that jutsu?" "It's the reason the Leaf won the war against Rock. It's the technique of Konoha's yellow flash." The younger rock shinobi about Naruto's age said as he backed away slowly. "My grandfather told me stories about such a technique. I didn't think anything like that could exist." Naruto spoke once more. "I left each member from a village that is not allied to the Leaf alive for one purpose and one purpose only. You are all going to be my messengers. The yellow flash may not be alive, but the technique lives on through me. Get out of here before I change my mind." All of the shinobi left Kumoko behind out of fear for their lives. Kumoko didn't care about some stupid technique. She was going to kill Uzumaki. She glanced at Hayami, who had a happy expression on her face. She then looked at Naruto, measuring his distance. "I'm closer to them than he is. There is no way he could reach them before I can at this distance." She smiled. Using her speed, she zipped past Makinu, who couldn't react fast enough. Ranpu also saw who she was heading for, and he couldn't do anything either. Kumoko appeared behind Hayami with her kunai in hand. "This time you die." Swinging at the unsuspecting girl's neck, a hand caught her wrist, stopping the kunai short. Hayami turned around when she saw a flash of yellow next to her to see Naruto standing with his hand on Kumoko's wrist. She then looked back to where Naruto was standing, and then back to her brother. "Naruto ni-san, how did you move so fast?" she asked herself. Naruto was giving Kumoko a blank expression. "That was your last chance, you won't get a second one." Naruto swung his sword upward to create a slash across her chest, but he swung at air. Standing on the building on his side was Kuin with Kumoko in his arms. Naruto turned to look at the man. "I see you saved your teammate once again. I don't think there will be a third time." "You're quite correct, Uzumaki. There won't be a third time. You're going to have to worry about me, and well, there is really no telling what will happen to your girl and the Manashu child. They don't really interest me though, you do. Get ready, Uzumaki." Kuin put Kumoko down and prepared himself. Naruto wasn't really worried. He would protect everyone here. He rested his sword on his shoulder and brought his left hand forth and motioned for them to bring it. Kuin was about to attack when a few medic nins and a pink-haired kunoiki landed next to Naruto. In crouching position, Sakura lifted her head up and smiled at Kumoko. "I've finally found you. Why were you looking for me? You want to die, leaf scum?" Kumoko asked. Naruto glanced at Sakura. What are you doing here, Sakura? Why aren't you at the stadium or the hospital putting your skills to use? I was trying to catch up to Konohamaru, who was protecting Hayami and Yumi, but I ran into a few shinobi, not to mention other people I had to heal. I should have been here to help them earlier. I figured there would be some injured, so I had a medic squad follow me. So what happened to Konohamaru? Naruto asked. Sakura answered, when we saw you appear then disappear in a yellow flash, I told him to head back to the stadium. I figured you mastered the Haraishin, Tsunade-sama said you would. A shinobi in an Anbu garbs landed next to Naruto and Sakura. Slowly pulling off his mask, the man with the red fangs on his face addressed Sakura. Sakura and Naruto, this feels like old times, doesn't it? Chuji was taken down, so I went to check up on him but heard a couple of screams, so I came here. Look what I find, you guys about to get into some fun. Naruto addressed Kiba, well this is going to be fun, and too bad you won't get any piece of it. Fall back Kiba, he's mine. I'm not really here for that, I'm trying to evacuate citizens and civilians to safety. So I'm here to escort them to safety. I guess there is Ino and Tenten. Suddenly Ino and Tenten appeared next to their friends. Ino landed next to Kiba. Chuji is okay, he lost a lot of blood but is stabilized. Kumoko laughed, you're talking about that fat excuse for an Anbu. I'm surprised Kadan didn't kill him. Ino was about to attack but Sakura put her arms out. Don't worry Ino, she's mine. Naruto turned to Ino, Kiba, Tenten, and the rest of the genin, get him to safety. Also, he turned to the medics, take care of that kid with the kunai in his shoulder. He turned to Sakura, maybe you should heal him. Don't worry, he will be okay. With his injuries they can heal him in no time, Sakura told the group. Tenten nodded and motioned for Yumi and Hayami to come on. Hayami didn't move, she looked at Naruto, Ni-san. His eyes on Kuin, he said, what is it Yami-chan? Win okay. Naruto nodded. Yumi spoke next, Naruto, be careful okay. We'll be waiting. Okay, now get going. Kiba and Tenten appeared next to them and ran off. Kumoko had Naruto right here so it didn't matter. But Kuin was here and she was sure he would kill her if she tried to fight Naruto. She really didn't have any interest in the pink-haired Kunoichi at all. She just wanted to hurt Uzumaki. She decided to chase him down, but when she stopped a few feet away from him, Sakura appeared in front of her. Sorry, but your fight is with me. I won't be as easy as those genin over there. Sakura said. Naruto glanced at Sakura, sure you're going to be fine Sakura. Yes, I'm not the same Sakura you once knew Naruto, I've changed a lot over the years. You should stop worrying about me and focus on that guy Naruto, he's strong I can feel it. Sakura said to her former teammate. I'm sure he is. Naruto looked at Kuin, our powers, we're going to destroy this section if we fight here, how about we change venues? Kuin shrugged, I don't care where we fight as long as we fight. Lead the way. Naruto shunned out of sight, Kuin followed. Sakura smiled at Kumoko, your friend doesn't know what he's gotten himself into. Naruto is going to beat him you know. I wouldn't count on it. Let me let you in on a little secret, my friend is a Jinchuriki. He holds the Gobi no Yoko. She said with a wicked grin. And the Uchiha, he's fighting Kadan, who at full power, is a little under Kuin. Your village, your friends, they will be all dead in a few hours. Once I get by you, I will kill that girl and his lover. Sakura smirked, well if your friend thinks he can beat Naruto by just being a Jinchuriki then he is wrong. Defeating a Jinchuriki may seem impossible to most but not to Naruto. In fact he has defeated one already. As for Sasuke, he won't lose no matter what. The only person he will allow himself to lose to is Naruto, and vice versa. Your comrades picked the wrong two people to fight, but why should it matter to you? You have to fight me. I'm really scared you wide four-headed bitch. I will kill you. A vein formed on Sakura's head, you could have said I was ugly, you could have insulted my pink hair color, hell you could have said something else that would have been insulting but my forehead, you will die for that. Bring it on bitch. Kumoko motioned for Sakura to attack. Sakura wasted no time in punching the ground beneath her. Kumoko saw the ripple effect coming toward her. Pushing off the solid ground before it broke into rubble, Kumoko launched herself into the air. She was even more surprised when Sakura appeared behind her. I told you I wasn't some low-ranked genin. Aiming at her head, Sakura swung with all of her might. Stadium. Tsunade and Aizu were staring each other down. 20 minutes or so had passed since they were battling. Neither was giving the other an inch. What was surprising to Tsunade was that he was avoiding and blocking her punches. She was certain that they were having a little effect on him. She was trying to bide her time to wait for the perfect moment to use her seal. Instead of using it to heal, she would use all that chakra to give her a power-up. She would have enough power to crush him. But first, she wanted to see if this was his limit. She didn't suspect so. But hopefully she would find out soon. Tsunade was glad that Naruto was back and that he mastered the Haraishin. She also noticed Aizu get a little on edge due to his appearance. Aizu, who was standing a few feet away, turned to face Tsunade. That jutsu, that was the Haraishin, wasn't it? Tsunade nodded with a smile. Yes, it was. I thought only the Yondaime, Konoha's yellow flash, knew that jutsu. How does Uzumaki know it? Aizu asked. The technique was created for the purpose of being a clan technique only. Seeing as Naruto is the heir to the clan, it's only right he should know it. Realizing what she was saying, you're telling me that Uzumaki is. Yes. Naruto is the son of Namikaze Minato, Konoha's yellow flash, and the Yondaime Hokage. Don't tell me you're scared of him, oh mighty Aizu-sama, said Tsunade sarcastically. Aizu responded, not at all, it just explains the similarities between the two. So I will get to kill the son of the famous, Yellow Flash. I would have preferred the Yellow Flash, himself, but his son will do. However, I have to deal with you first. Chuan appeared in front of him and aimed a punch at his stomach, but Aizu blocked it from the inside of her forearm. The impact was heard throughout the stadium. He knew if he would have touched the fist directly, his arm would have shattered. But even doing this hurt, however, it was nothing compared to receiving one of those punches or kicks. Tsunade wasn't physically the strongest of the Sannin without reason. Aizu had to be smart. He was waiting for her to play her hand, then he would show her how hopeless it was. He just wanted to finish her off before Uzumaki came after him. He hoped Kuin was doing his job. If so, then he wouldn't have to exert much effort to kill Naruto. The Raikage went on the offensive this time. He decided to keep it to mid to long range attacks for a while. He started shooting fireballs, but Tsunade used the tile as a shield once again. She performed the hand seals for a water style, water dragon bullet. The dragon came out of nowhere and rose up from behind her and stood about 50 feet overhead. When it opened its mouth, the dragon fired water bullets that were shaped like spikes. While flipping through the spikes as they rained down on him and piercing through the roof in which they stood on, Aizu continued until he was close enough to do his technique, which was a wind release. Pulling his arms all the way back, he brought them forth, clapping them together, wind style, shock wave breeze. A wave of wind flew at Tsunade. Jumping over the wind jutsu, she went through hand seals at a very fast speed, and performed fire style, fire dragon. Aizu performed the same jutsu to counter her attack. An explosion of flames erupted in the air. Aizu ducked, avoiding a kick at his head coming from behind him. He felt the wind from the kick. Tightening his fist, he swung around and aimed at her face. Tsunade blocked his punch and followed up with her own, but was blocked. Kicks, punches, blocks, and dodging attacks, this continued for a while. Neither wanting to stop and give the other the advantage. They would continue as long as they could. In the village somewhere in the shadows, two root squads were standing before Danzu. One member spoke, Sir, Uzumaki Naruto has returned. It seems he knows the Haraishin. What do you want us to do? He shook his head. Unless you want to die, nothing. There is nothing we can do. Just hope that he doesn't take vengeance on us. However, I want you to rid the leaf of the remaining enemy shinobi. I want you to first focus on Bolt. Eliminate them at all cost. The leaf will not fall under our watch. You have your orders. The shinobi under Danzu vanished, leaving the old man alone. He prayed that Uzumaki wouldn't seek vengeance. If he did, he was prepared to use his Anbu division, but he would cross that bridge if and when they came to it. The main focus right now was to neutralize the threat to the village and counter-strike. Most of the Anbu and skilled Junin were keeping the enemy at bay, while Genin and Chunin helped with evacuation. Danzu knew of the two squads stationed close to the designated hideouts. Captain Neji Hyuga and Captain Azuki Yugao were in charge of the squads leading the evacuation and shelter mission for the civilians. He wondered if Tsunade was correct to let the enemy penetrate this far. Even if they fended them off, there wouldn't be much of a village to protect, especially seeing those three summons fighting Gamabunta and changing the landscape of the forest in the process. He noticed a figure appear on Gamabunta's head. That's Jiraiya. Outside of the village, Jiraiya was on top of Gamabunta looking at the three summons before him. Ibiki appeared next to him. Jiraiya-sama, I'm glad to see you. Long time Ibiki. So where is Tsunade? She's at the stadium fighting the Raikage. Everyone else went off to their respective duties or fights, he informed the Sannin. Jiraiya spoke to Gamabunta, so Bunta, I assume Naruto summoned you. Yes, but why the hell are you and this child on my head? Don't you have anything better to do, Jiraiya? Bunta said. Come on Bunta, stop playing. Turn these poor excuses for summons into mincemeat. Bunta extracted his sword, more than a pleasure. Gamabunta, with Jiraiya and Ibiki on him, jumped at the one of the summons with his sword raised high. Bunta planned on showing them why he was one of the best. In the stadium, Kakashi didn't really have time to talk to Rin right now. Shinobi, mostly Cloud Nin, was coming from every angle. It wasn't as bad as before since many retreated, mainly Rock, when Naruto performed the Hiraishin. Kakashi watched as Rin joined in to help him. Looking at her move, he could see that she kept up her skills. Kakashi panicked when a shinobi appeared behind her. He almost lost his cool and was prepared to launch himself at the shinobi regardless of what happened to him. But he didn't get the chance because Rin appeared behind the shinobi and planted a kunai in his back. She then appeared next to Kakashi. Are you okay, Kakashi? He nodded. Yes, I am now. She smiled at the underlining meaning of the comment. I'm glad you're okay. Scanning the stadium, she noticed that the fight seemed to be dying down a little. The Leaf and Sand Nins were minimizing the numbers of enemy. Looking around some more, her eyes fell on Yokohama. She saw that Yokohama was watching all of the events transpire while the other country leaders were unconscious like most of the spectators in the stadium. She immediately left Kakashi and Guy to head over to Yokohama. When Rin arrived next to her, Yokohama spoke. Good to see you again, Rin. So I assume Naruto went off to play hero. Yes, he went looking for his girl and sister. Why are you here, Yokohama-san? But more importantly, how did you dispel the genjutsu? Rin was curious. Yokohama pointed to the masked shinobi standing beside her. Well, I actually did pass out, but Sasam-chan over here didn't. Rin turned to the masked ninja who pulled off her mask and smiled at her. Hello, Rin-san. I insisted that we shouldn't come, but Yokohama-sama had different plans. So when the genjutsu took effect, I pretended like I was asleep and then I broke the spell placed on Yokohama-sama. She really wanted to be a witness to the events that transpire here today. Of course I do. This is going to be very historical. I want to bear witness to this. So do you, Sasam-chan. Don't act like you don't want to be here. Yokohama said to the Fuma clan member. Yes, but I'm here to aid a friend. I feel there will be nothing that I can do for him, however. Sasam said dejectedly. Rin placed a hand on her shoulder. You're right, but don't feel bad. I don't think Naruto is the type to want any help. He's been training like a madman and well, he should be okay. I think you guys should watch and lay low. We have a lot to do still. I'm going back to aid my friend. You guys stay safe, okay? Rin disappeared and left them alone. She appeared next to Kakashi in a matter of seconds. She, Kakashi, and Guy were back to back. Wow, they just keep coming. What's going on with the evacuation? Shouldn't it have been done already? Asked Rin. Well, judging by what's going on here, I would have to say that it's going to take them another hour or so to get everyone to safety. We can't worry about that though. Guy said. Rin knew he was correct. Shinobi surrounded them once more. Her next words were directed at Kakashi. Kakashi, your Sharingan, does it not? Kakashi cut her off. Don't worry about it. It's like Guy said, we have to get this done with. I wonder though, have your medic skills faded? Of course not. Why do you ask? Because it's going to be needed, Rin understood. She didn't know what the aftermath of this would be like. Hell, she didn't even know if she would survive. But if she did, she would help as much as she could. Rin, Kakashi, and Guy continued their attack on the enemy shinobi. Asuma was worrying about a lot of things. One was Chuand, one was Senzaru, and the other was his nephew Konohamaru. A bit hot-headed, he did admit, but he did care for the boy like he was his own. The only reason that he didn't really worry about Kurenai was because she was right here in front of him. He could see Kakashi, Guy, and Rin, whom he was very shocked to see fending off enemy shinobi on the other side. Across the stadium, Tenzu and Alba were doing their best. The Leaf was definitely being overrun by shinobi. The Sand was fending off the outer perimeter of the village, but with Gamabunta fighting those two summons he wasn't sure how long he would be able to prevent them from penetrating the village. Mist, Rain, Rock, and Cloud, 3 of the 5 great shinobi villages were trying to take over the Leaf. Glancing at the third's head he said, "Don't worry Pops, I will protect our home for your sake. Today isn't the day that it will fall." Jumping over a shinobi who charged at him, Asuma planted a kick in the Cloud Nin's head sending him flying in the opposite direction. He looked down at Shikamaru, Temari, and Anko who were faring okay but the Daki guy was still too strong. Down in the ring, Shikamaru didn't have enough time to catch Daki in his shadow bind, his attention was focused on the other nin attacking him and Temari. All 3 were standing side by side, Daki and more Cloud Nin to his side stared down the 3 shinobi. Daki spoke, "It seems that some of the rock nins retreated because of Uzumaki. We'll deal with the cowards later. Right now we are going to kill you guys." Shikamaru knew that they had to stop this guy and prevent further penetration into the village. But it didn't look good at all. His chakra was getting low and he was certain that Temari and Anko's were also. Daki saw this whole thing as a nuisance. They should have killed these guys but he could tell Shikamaru was the one keeping them alive. It was surprising since he wasn't the strongest, which meant that he was really smart. He was the brains and someone that they fed off. Sure they were Junin and skilled, but he was certain that they wouldn't have lasted as long as they did against him had it not been for Uzumaki and that pineapple head Junin, as he called him. It was decided, Daki was going to end it. Standing on the roof of the stadium, a lone figure whispered, "Sky Slash." The tip of the sword started to glow then an energy blast shot from it instantly. Aimed at Daki, he avoided it, but some of his comrades weren't lucky. Anko turned to see Shinji standing on the stadium wall. Shikamaru didn't know what this guy was capable of but he was glad that he showed up with that attack. Without even receiving word to attack, Cloud, Rain, and the few brave rock nin still present came at Shinji. Jumping from his position which was pretty far towards Shikamaru, Temari, and Anko, Shinobi came at him with intent to kill. Moving swiftly, his blade wasn't even seen. The only thing that was visible was wind, his sword moved so fast that it looked like slashes of wind. He landed and the shinobi was still suspended in air and soon came crashing down to the ground dead. Shinji spoke to Temari, "Weren't you watching my cousin? Where is she?" "My guess, she's with Naruto. He went to her not too long ago, you just missed him," she informed Shinji. "Is that so? Well, I got a score to settle with all of these shinobi including that weakling over there. You guys can leave this to me and help your village." Shikamaru looked at Shinji wondering if he was crazy. "Are you sure? I mean we can help." Shikamaru offered. "Sorry, but this is for my clan. Don't you have a village to save? Get out of here, I will handle it." Shikamaru shrugged. "If that's the case then Anko, you should summon a large snake to help that large toad. Temari, come with me." All 3 blurred out of sight. Daki narrowed his eyes at Shinji. He remembered this guy. It was the same guy in the forest. Daki spoke, "We're going to finish what we started 6 months ago. With the death of you and the girl, the Manashu clan will be no more." Shinji pointed his sword to Daki. More shinobi surrounded them. This time it was Mist Nin with katanas drawn. Shinji wanted to laugh. Were they serious? With the way they were holding their weapon, did they really think that they could harm him? Shinji shifted into one of the Manashu clan stances. "You forget 2 things. 1, my clan was caught off guard and 2, I wasn't there. Allow me to show you why my clan is revered as the best when it comes to kenjutsu. Oh, I wonder what will happen when you see that your technique will be ineffective. Your time has expired. All of you kill him now." Daki ordered everyone to attack. They charged forward. Shinji smirked. Leaving an afterimage behind him, Shinji performed an upward slash to the nin on his right, leaving an afterimage of the blade. Jumping to his left then spinning on his heel, he pushed off and cut across the stomach of a shinobi on that side. Only afterimages of the blade were seen, no one could place the real one, and it didn't matter. Only Daki could see him standing in the middle of them all. They didn't even know that they were dead. Slowly, but simultaneously, they all fell to the ground dead with Shinji in the middle of them all. From an aerial view, they all formed the kanjis for blade and dance. They all fell in the position which formed these kanjis. Shinji had performed the dance of the blade. Shinji pointed his sword to Daki again. Ineffective, you say? You might have been right, they were ineffective. So what now? You're going to kill me? Go ahead, Azu-sama's dream will come to pass. His dream will end here. I will make sure of it. But you're in my way. Shinji appeared behind Daki, who didn't realize Shinji was behind him until it was too late. He shoved the sword through the man's back, puncturing a hole through his heart. Removing his sword quickly, he vanished from sight before Daki realized that he had been stabbed and was falling to the ground. Shinji appeared in the stands where Kakashi was. He was determined to take down every rock, rain, and cloud shinobi he came across. His first thing was to go look for his cousin, but if she was with Naruto she was safe, that much he was sure of. And since she was safe, he would have his vengeance. His willingness to not let things go was probably why he failed the test for Heaven's Blade, but he didn't care. Avenging his clan with equal blood of shinobi from villages responsible would do him just fine. He turned to see Tsunade and Azu fighting. He would save him for last. Shinji appeared next to Kakashi. You look like you're having fun, Kakashi. But I think I will take them. I'm sure a shinobi of your skill can be used better somewhere else. Kakashi was probably the only one present who knew Shinji's strength. He nodded. Fine, Rin, Guy, come with me. Guy spoke. Where are we going? To help with the evacuation, so we can direct all of power to attacking the enemy. Guy shook his head. Don't we have shinobi focused on that? Besides, we are needed here in the stadium. Hokage-sama can take care of herself. She's not Hokage for nothing. Guy, we have to help. Kakashi said, hoping he would see reason. Rin placed a hand on Guy's shoulder. Guy-san, Kakashi is right. Besides, we will come back once we finish aiding everyone. Guy didn't want to leave, but he now saw the reasoning. He gave a slight nod indicating to Kakashi and Rin that it was time to go. The two Junin and the former Leaf Nin faded from sight. Shinji was standing alone with Mist Nins in his path. He gripped his sword tighter and proceeded to cut through Nins in his path. Somewhere in the village, Sakura and Kumoko were staring each other down. Kumoko barely dodged Sakura's punch. She didn't know Sakura's destructive power. It was mere luck that she avoided it. Had it connected, the fight would have ended there, Sakura was certain. Her long pink hair was blowing in the wind, as was Kumoko's long red hair. Kumoko smiled and spoke. Haruno Sakura, Junin Sensei, the infamous Sharingan Kakashi, team member of Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki. Trained by Tsunade of the legendary 3, yet with all of these people around you, your skill is unimpressive at the very least. How sad. Sakura decided to respond. Sako Kumoko, daughter of the Cloud's legendary, Red Lightning, trained under the current Raikage, Hayakai Reizu, former Cell members Nenshukuin and Gin Kadan. Yet with all of that you still aren't impressive. Forming a smile, Kumoko spoke. So it seems that you know about me. Good. There is one more thing you should know. I'm going to kill you. Sakura punched the ground, turning it into rubble. Kumoko wasn't expecting this and was caught by surprise. She didn't know Sakura had this strength. Shit, if I get hit by her I'm done for. This bitch is really that strong. But she seems slow, so it doesn't matter. Kumoko landed among the broken rubble. Performing hand seals, she sent a current of wind toward Sakura. Using a Doton Jutsu, she formed a wall in front of her to protect her from the attack, but it was ripped apart. The Cloud Junin eyed Sakura, analyzing her every movement. So you're very strong, I see, but you can't hit me. I have the advantage in speed, even if it's only slightly. Your strength is commendable, but still not good enough. Sakura was smiling at Kumoko. She's underestimating me. Good. Just a little more and I can perform my jutsu. Sakura attacked Kumoko, but her kick to the head sailed right past Kumoko as moved to the side. Is that all you got, Sakura? Kumoko then jumped away. Sakura jumped in the air and performed a front flip with her right leg held high above her head. When she got near Kumoko's head, she brought her leg down with extreme force only to hit the ground, causing a small crater where her foot connected. Kumoko sidestepped and planted a kick in the side of Sakura's jaw, which sent her skidding across the floor. She continued to taunt her. Terrible, just terrible. Are all the Junins of the leaf this pathetic? Sakura couldn't help but smile in her head. Keep on thinking you have the upper hand. Just when you get comfortable it will be all over. Sakura aimed another kick at her head but Kumiko ducked to avoid the attack and countered with a leg sweep. Sakura fell on her hand and pushed off into a flip. When she landed she was now on the defensive. Blocking kicks, dodging punches, but a few start to slip through her defense. One punch sent her flying skidding across the floor once again. Kumiko was standing about 20 feet away with a confident gaze. Sakura slowly picked herself up and wiped away the blood from her mouth. Kumiko spoke, pathetic. For someone who trained with a Sannin your skill level is suspect. I don't understand why would the Hokage waste her time with you. Sakura smirked, well there are a number of reasons. I showed the most promise as a medic, I'm smart, and I'm a natural genjutsu type. This caught Kumiko's interest. Genjutsu, oh, that's interesting. Yes it is, but the best part of it all is that you're going to be the first person to see the jutsu that I have designed. Sakura informed Kumiko. She just laughed. Earth to Sakura, I have the advantage or have you forgotten? A shinobi must look underneath the underneath. Things aren't always what they seem. Kumiko didn't know what Sakura was getting at. She continued to laugh at the kunoiki. It seems that you're stalling for time, Sakura. I don't like waiting. I will end this now and just simply put you out of your misery. Sakura's smirk illustrated her confidence that she would be the one walking away from this fight. I've been working on this technique for 6 years, ever since Naruto left. I blamed him for not bringing Sasuke back when in fact I couldn't do anything but stand there helpless and be knocked unconscious. Flashback 6 years ago. Sakura was sitting on her bed with her knees in her chest. She was crying, but not about Sasuke, but what she had said to Naruto. She knew that there was no going back. She didn't really mean it. Look at me crying. I'm so weak. Blaming Naruto for Sasuke not returning. Ino was right, I was out of line. Sakura wiped away her tears and stood up. She walked her over to her dresser and picked up Team 7 photo. You two have always protected me and I can't even protect you. I always try to make you feel bad, Naruto, about being stupid to show my superiority, but you were always giving it your all. I wish I had that drive. Sasuke-kun, a perfect balance of everything, skill, brains, I never really fitted in. But I promise, I will help get Sasuke-kun back, and Naruto, I will show you how much you really mean to me. Sakura heard her mother calling her name. She put down the photo and went down the stairs. A few days later, there was a buzz through the village that Naruto was being sent away. She tried to catch him but he wasn't in none of his favorite spots. She even tried going to his apartment but nothing. Everything in his apartment was cleared out. It was as if he never lived there. She was starting to wonder if he left already. Leaving his apartment, she found herself walking down the road looking at the ground, not really paying much attention to her surroundings. That was until she heard someone say, "He's gone, you know." Sakura looked up to see Shikamaru looking at her lazily. Surprised, but she still asked, "For how long?" "Sakura, Naruto really gave it his all, as did the rest of us. To everyone excluding Naruto, we had no problem letting Sasuke go, but he on the other hand was fighting for not only your happiness but for a friend. Ino told me what you said to him." Sakura put her head down in shame. Shikamaru continued, "Don't feel bad about it, Sakura. Learn from this experience. There is so much you will never understand about Naruto, but that kid has been through more than any of us will go through in our lifetime. Even when it broke his heart to make you that promise, he did it." Sakura knew what Shikamaru was doing. She spoke in a low tone, "He's not coming back, is he?" Shikamaru turned to walk away from the kunoiki. He stopped after a few steps. "We lost two potentially great shinobi. One because of his selfish desires and one because of his selfless nature. It seems that Team 7 is no more. It is a pity. You guys could have been great. It was all there. I guess we will never know." Shikamaru walked off, leaving Sakura to herself. She yelled out to the Chunin, "Where are you going, Shikamaru?" "To the library. There are a couple of things I need to discover." Shikamaru continued to walk until the distance between him and Sakura increased. Sakura's gaze was focused downward. "I didn't even get to say I was sorry." 2 weeks passed. Sakura was sitting in her room. Most of her time was spent crying about the events that transpired. She heard her mother call to her and she responded, Tell Ino that I don't want to talk. So you don't want to talk to me either. Sakura turned to the window to see Kakashi standing on the ledge reading his book. He folded his book and stored it in his vest. Get dressed. Sakura was about to say no, but it was as if Kakashi sensed she was going to. I'm not asking you, Sakura. As your Junin instructor, I'm telling you. Meet me downstairs in 5. Kakashi left in a puff of smoke. Sakura didn't really want to go out, but she had no choice. 5 minutes pass and Sakura walked up next to Kakashi. Where are we going, Kakashi-sensei? Just follow me, was all the Junin said. They continued walking for about 10 minutes or so until they reached the training ground. Kakashi pointed out Kiba, Shino, and Lee training. Sakura wondered why he brought her here. Why are we here, Kakashi-sensei? A shinobi, no people in general, are to grow from past events and rise above. It seems that you are not rising above. Sasuke and Naruto caused you a lot of pain, but you forget one thing. She looked at Kakashi. What is that one thing? That wherever they are, they're getting stronger for whatever reason. They both had a purpose. Sasuke's was to revenge his clan and Naruto's was to become Hokage. I'm sure neither has lost the drive. Naruto may not become Hokage, but I'm sure his goal has changed to being recognized and respected as the best shinobi. Don't know if that will happen, but if anyone can do it, will be him. What I'm trying to say is, what drives you, Sakura? Sasuke-kun and Naruto, well, at least they did. I found myself always falling behind. Now I don't really have any motivation. It's just. Have you ever thought that they don't have to be here to drive you? You wanted Naruto to bring Sasuke back, right? Well, why not get strong and do it yourself? Isn't that drive enough? Look at Lee. Kakashi pointed to the bobhead kid punching the log. He has no talent for ninjutsu or genjutsu. However, he trains hard in the one skill that he has to prove that he can be just as good as other shinobi who can use genjutsu and ninjutsu. It's his drive that made him one of the strongest genin in the village. Sakura understood now what he was getting at. Everyone was doing something about their problems, but she was sitting around complaining and bitching about it. The wind started to blow and the hair covered her eyes. She spoke in a serious voice. I have to get stronger. I will get stronger. I will bring back Sasuke-kun and I will find Naruto and apologize. Under his mask, Kakashi smiled. Remember, Sakura, that Team 7 isn't whole anymore, but that doesn't mean that Team 7 is dead. Team 7 will always be in your heart, and as long as that's alive, so will Team 7. Sakura smiled at Kakashi. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. She turned and ran off, leaving Kakashi confused. I wonder where she's going. Hokage's office 20 minutes or so later. Sakura just asked Tsunade to train her. Tsunade studied the girl, which made Sakura nervous a little, but she wasn't going to take no for an answer. Tsunade nodded. I will take you on, Sakura. You have Kakashi to thank for. He has informed me of your great chakra control. I will tell you now, I am tough and I will not give you any slack. Are we clear? Sakura nodded. Yes, Tsunade-sama. When do we start? Meet me at the training ground tomorrow at 8. We will go over the details of your training. You are dismissed. Sakura bowed, then exited the office. She needed to do one more thing. I will become an excellent medic nin. Now I need to focus on my genjutsu. Kurenai-sensei, I'm sure she would help. It didn't take long for Sakura to find Kurenai and the rest of Team 8. While the boys were training, Sakura was talking to Kurenai. Kurenai-sensei, I was wondering if you could help me with genjutsu. Kakashi-sensei pointed out a while back that I have a talent for it, so I want to train that talent to its max. Kurenai nodded. I will help you with what I can, Sakura. But remember that I have a team that I have to look after as well. You can train with us from time to time. Thank you, Kurenai-sensei. Sakura bowed. Don't thank me, thank Kakashi. He told me you would come and ask for help. He also said that you were a genjutsu type. I think you will pick it up easy. Kurenai said. Sakura bowed again, then ran off to find Kakashi. You sly devil, Kakashi-sensei. 2 years later. 2 years had passed and Sakura had been redirected to Team 10 for the time being. They all passed the exams a year ago. She was happy. She was getting closer to her goals. Day by day she was growing stronger. She was becoming an excellent medic nin. Some believed she would surpass Tsunade someday. But she wasn't worrying about that. She was just trying to do her best to keep up with her team, who she told herself for the last 2 years were on training trips. She didn't want to believe Sasuke turned his back on the village and that Naruto was banished from the village that he wanted to be Hokage of. She had finished medical training with Tsunade earlier that day and she was now training with Kurenai. Sakura was breathing hard. She had been working on this technique for 2 years. Kurenai smiled. It seems that you are getting better. However, this jutsu requires a lot of control, Sakura. You're combining genjutsu with ninjutsu. But it seems that you have gotten it down. I know it's taking a lot of control, which is why I'm trying to work on it. Not only is it taking control, it only lasts for about 20 seconds. I need to get it to a minute. The genjutsu portion is easy enough, but the combination of the ninjutsu is what's tricky. Do you have any more pointers, Kurenai-sensei? Sakura asked, hoping she could give more insight. Not really. It's just you need to focus on your control, like I said. Honestly, this technique you're doing would be hard for me to do. I think to do it you would need the control that you have, and well, not many people have the control of a medic nin, either that or a lot of chakra to waste to perform the technique. As for the time frame, remember you always train with Tsunade every day, so when you come see me a huge portion of your chakra is already drained. I'm sure that the technique would last longer if your chakra was higher. Kurenai pointed out. I guess you're right. Well, Kurenai-sensei, I should be going, thanks for everything. Sakura left the red-eyed Junin behind. Sakura was happy about her jutsu. It was something that she could call her own. She would perfect it, but she would also become stronger in the process as well. End of flashback. You should be proud. You're the second person to see this technique and the first person to be its victim. Sakura did one hand symbol and the landscape changed. Kumoko looked around to see that she was now in a grass field surrounded by sakura trees. It went from day to night in Kumoko's eyes. She looked around and she still saw Sakura standing in front of her. Kumoko addressed the girl. Are you serious? Do you really think that this technique will work on me? Sakura spoke once again. Every step in this fight has led to this. You will see soon enough. Sakura extended her arm in front of her. She then brought it close to her mouth. The wind started to pick up and the leaves from the cherry blossom trees began to break apart. Reflecting in the moonlight, the petals danced in the air. Kumoko was surrounded by cherry blossom leaves, or petals if you will. They just floated in the air around her. Sakura spoke again. It's over. The wind picked up and the leaves started circling her until they inched closer and closer. She couldn't dodge. There were too many of them. She was trapped. All that was heard were screams. After about 10 seconds or so, the leaves dispersed from Kumoko, who was now decorated in cuts and blood. When she fell to her knees, the genjutsu faded and she was back to the sunny, war-stricken Konoha. She fell on her face with her head turned to the side. She could sense footsteps coming towards her. She spoke in a weak voice. How can a genjutsu cause physical harm? Sakura looked down at her with disdain. It wasn't just a genjutsu. It was a combination of genjutsu and ninjutsu. Since you're going to die, allow me to explain. I designed the jutsu for my name Sake. The cherry blossoms that you saw were nothing more than jagged edges of rock. I can use objects such as actual leaves, rocks with jagged edges, senbon, shuriken, kunai, anything really. The user, however, only sees what I choose. But no matter what the scene is, you will always be surrounded by cherry blossom trees. I call this jutsu, Miwaku Chimateki Hanafubuki. It's over for you. Kumoko cursed herself, so those hits to the ground were to create jagged pieces you would need for the jutsu. That's what you meant by every move was lead to this moment. You tricked me. Not exactly. You see, you are faster and your techniques are sound, so you might even be the better shinobi. However, my analytical thinking and my brains helped me win this fight. You didn't know my abilities, and what you thought you saw you believed to be the extent of it. That's what did you in. Sakura informed. It can't end like this. I have to kill Naruto, everything important to him. My revenge isn't done. She struggled to say. Sakura continued, accept it. Your goal ends here. This was as far as you was able to get. Even if you went after Naruto you wouldn't be able to stop him. Even if you were stronger than him it wouldn't matter. Naruto would still find a way to win. Do you want to know the reason? Kumoko was still hanging on by a thread. Enlighten me. He knows what true strength is. It took me a while to figure out what he has always known. You are not fighting to protect anyone. You're here for your selfish reasons. Vengeance can only carry you so far. You wish to kill him for your father, correct? Well, what other reasons do you have? You're not even fighting to protect your village, you only have a one-track mind, and that's causing Naruto harm. Naruto, on the other hand, is fighting to protect. You remind me of Sasuke-kun. It was only after protecting me that he got stronger. Sakura informed Kumoko. Can it with that mushy bullshit. Trying to say I need love get stronger, bullshit. Kumoko stated. Power doesn't only come from training, you know. You need that extra something. You never had it, which is why you would never have been able to reach Naruto. He may not be a leaf shinobi, but he has the will of fire, burning fire to protect those precious to him. The cloud will not succeed. The leaf will fight to the last man to make sure Konoha will not fall. We will never give up. If you will excuse me, I have to go protect my village and check up on my friends. Have a nice trip to the afterlife. Sakura turned back to Kumoko and walked off. Kumoko was lying in a pool of her own blood. She tried to inch closer to Sakura, who was fading in the distance. I will not die here, not to someone like her. I can't die, I have to. Sakura faded in the distance and Kumoko's eyes rolled to the back of her head. Her hand went limp. The cloud Kunoiki was dead along with her dreams of vengeance. Somewhere outside of the village, Kaito, who was sitting on the rock with his sword resting at his side, stood up. It took you long enough to get here. I was starting to think you wouldn't come. And miss a chance to fight you, not likely. I see even, Kiryu, is present for this one. I am honored that you would fight me with that blade. Even during your time with the 7 swordsmen, I've only seen that katana used a handful of times. The Mizukage, who was now in a white sleeveless GI and blue sweats with matching color sandals, his sword in its scabbard, walked toward Kaito. Kaito unsheathed and dropped the scabbard on the floor to reveal a black blade with a blue wave symbol traveling down the blade. Not as long as Zabuza's and Kisam's swords, but it was about 66 inches. Other than those characteristics, it looked like a normal katana. The Mizukage smiled. Kiryu, so beautiful. I wonder how little old Sanzunokawa will fare against it. The blue-haired shinobi unsheathed his sword and dropped his scabbard to the ground as well. Unlike Kaito's sword, his sword was a smoke gray. The sword was about the same length as Kaito's. His sword, on the other hand, his sword didn't have a traditional katana crossguard. His was ash black, flat and outstretched, medieval feel, think Trunks crossguard, as opposed to the typical oval crossguard on most katanas. Kaito spoke, come at me with everything you have, Koku. Gripping his sword, he couldn't help but grin. I intend to, big brother. God-Eye Mizukage, Seiki Koku was ready to fight the only person he felt that could ever stop him from controlling the mist with an iron fist. That person is his older brother, Seiki Kaito. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.